Hello class, today I'm going to give you a presentation on George Walker, and my name is Taylor. So today I'm going to be going over his beginnings, what led him to automotive design, his impact on Ford, and also his other accomplishments he made in the industry. So George Walker was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1898. His father actually worked for the Erie Railroad, which led to his family to relocate to many cities. Before he actually went into automotive design, a fun fact I found was interesting was he was actually a semi-professional football player for the Cleveland Panthers. After this though, he decided that his career path was going to be more into the design road, so he started as an illustrator for a department store. After this, he'd also work for a halfback for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company in Akron, Ohio. So it's auto design, so he wanted to focus more into the auto design aspect of the auto industry. So he was going to move to Detroit, a better place, the Motor City. So in his first years, he developed designs from radios to refrigerators, watches. He developed tons of stuff. And beginning in the 1930s, he actually made his first contact with the Ford Motor Company selling chrome pieces. He did something different in his presentation, though. Most people would be displaying their designs to people with a desktop. He would actually do it with black velvet background. So his first big presentation, he worked really hard at it. He put over $3,000 in presentation materials and staff working around the clock. He wanted to present a futuristic take on the design because a lot of the automobiles at the time were more boxy and they just didn't have like the cool muscle design. So he presented it to Ford himself, and he was actually disappointed. He ended up walking out of the presentation. He would stay with the Ford Motor Company for a while. He would continue to progress through the ranks, and eventually he would actually be called back into Dearborn to actually comment on the 1949 Ford. And at the time, he told them that they need to up their game to actually get the people's support going into the future with automotive design. So the 1949 would bring his first success, but what started his big impact on the auto industry was creating the 1955 Thunderbird. This was inspired by him and Henry Ford too actually going to a European car expo, and he said, Ford said to him, he said, why can't we create a car like that? So he thought, why not? So what he did was he designed the 1955 Thunderbird, and this was pretty much Ford's first big intake on having like a muscle car. His group was also notable for creating the 1950 Lincoln, 1951 Mercury, and 1952 Ford. Overall, he created a very impactful movement on bringing Ford's cars into the future. Also, a couple other accomplishments I found interesting was he actually served as a mayor in Florida, actually leaving the industry in 1976. And also he created over 3,000 designs ranging from radios to refrigerators, varying from many manufacturers. So the one thing I want to conclude is we went through his automotive design process, we went through his beginnings, and we went through his other accomplishments. And I think people take for granted on the fact that people look at how cool these cars are and how great it is, but people don't really think about all the process that goes into it and all the people that actually make it happen. So George Walker is one of those few who made a huge impact on the industry, and that right there is actually a Time magazine picture of him. And thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.